पे करूंगी।
कुछ लीजिए आप। तो बेटे कुछ बताओ अपने बारे में।
Hello. Online. Hello. Hello. Check. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to all of us. It has been a very encouraging and positive feeling to meet most of us virtually and in person. I hope all of us had a great New Year celebration. In continuation to the celebration, I would request our leadership team members to come and wish all of us. I would request Mr. Ashok Babu to come and wish and introduce the culture anchor.
So good evening, guys, on both who are present here in physical form and also for the people who are already attending us through the the virtual meets. Okay, so I'm able to see some guys at least. Okay, so it is always good, right? So rather than talking in front of a monitor, talking in front of people is always good. Okay, so let me start with very happy and wonderful New Year for all of you guys, and that's exactly what we wanted to start with us our discussion last week. And first of all, let me greet you with yeah, wonderful New Year 2022 ahead, and we hope we are kind of coming across the problems that we faced with the COVID and related stuff, both personally and professionally. One thing is whether it's going to happen or it's going to get cured or not, we are kind of used to how to make life out of this, right? So we really don't need to worry about it too much. So with that as a note, let's start with something like on the overall scenario. Okay, so the overall the markets and also the growth is really very good, as you all see, and you would also been knowing the market is really good. For Econ as a company, we have a very good potential for our growth. Okay, and I think some of you people who have attended the leadership meeting will know that we have set an ambitious target of $100 million revenue in 4 years. That's completely achievable, right? So this year we should be closing at 25 million, and 4 times revenue should be possible. The market is good, and we have the right team assembled here. Okay, and the growth is seen across the world. Okay, when I had a visit to the US last 2 weeks ago, I met with quite a few companies. Okay, which are all I think our guys Vasant, Arvind, everybody knows, right? So I've been looking at only few companies in the West Coast. The market is really good. We are seeing a lot of acceptance for our products. Our marketing has worked pretty good in terms of getting the reach, and sales guys have been able to penetrate into the large accounts of $1 million plus year as an annual revenue. And this particular market is what we are looking out for, and we are having it. Okay, it could be anything pretty new age applications. It could be self checkout systems at Walmart, or the the autonomous mobile robots at BrainCorp that I saw. There is a huge potential for our products, and each of these applications, the new age applications, are actually for Econ to conquer and win. Okay, so we had one interesting robot at Anjapur Hotel. Okay, and I showed Shafi when we are going to see our cameras in these kind of AMRs, right? So Shafi said we'll bring it customers of that to have our cameras on those saving robots. That's exactly what we wanted to do here as well, right? So that's kind of a more like an emotional attachment. Okay, so. Oh, okay, okay. So, and there are also a lot of customers who want to move away from China. Okay, this is also a wonderful opportunity for us as a market. So given this, like, the shift in terms of the new age applications which are, like, growing up, and also conventional customers moving away from China, we have a very good opportunity for us to grow. Okay, and this growth is something that we have to achieve in order to hit $100 million. Okay, how do we achieve? And one of the biggest challenge that we have, okay, at this moment is the people. Okay, when I say people, not only for the R&D, but people for the product engineering, integration services, solution engineering, manufacturing, marketing, account management, especially account management and field applications in the United States and geographies where we want to grow big, and we need people on the process quality, production quality, and product quality. Like, we have the requirement for people from all our places. Okay, right from, like, let's start with the BDM to customer support, R&D to product engineering, production to quality. Like, we have a huge requirement, right? So we all have to work together to achieve it. And this may not be possible only with us. So we need to have more and more people joining us from outside to fuel this growth. Okay, and that's where, JP and his team is working on. So in the last last 1 year also, I have attended 1 or 2 Swagatam, and I've seen, like, a lot of new people at senior level joining us to take part in this growth. Okay, so whenever we have this kind of transition, right, this growth happens, we always have to look at, like, there are subtle items which we normally don't speak out. Okay, but we'll have to talk about this. Let me give you an example. Of course, many of you guys are married, but some of you guys are not yet married, right? So since you guys some of you are married, what you have seen, like, when you bring your newlywed wife, or it could be the other way as well. Okay, so maybe you would have joined a new family and getting into a new family as a groom. Okay, whatever it is. Okay, what do you see? There is always an, like, a kind of, a discomfort, or trying to understand how it is perceived in the new family, right? நம்ம அந்த படத்துக்கெல்லாம் போக வேணாம், மாமியார் சாவி கொத்து கொடுக்கறதுக்கெல்லாம் நம்ம போகல. ஓகே, அந்த ரேஞ்சுக்கு நம்ம போக வேணாம். பட் நார்மலாகவே, ஓகே, இந்த ஒரு பிரச்சனை இருக்கும், ஆர் இந்த ஒரு சின்ன ஒரு ஃப்ரிக்ஷன், ஓகே, இது கொஞ்சம் இருக்கும். ஓகே, ஸோ இது ஏன் இருக்குது? இது ஒரு சின்ன ஃபேமிலி, ஓகே, வேர் and it's all done. And நம்ம ஒன்றும் US கல்ச்சர் கிடையாது. ஓகே, I'll come to that culture part later. ஓகே, அங்கே கல்ச்சரில் வேறு விஷயமே வேறு. இண்டிவிஜுவல்ஸ் decide on their marriage, and they decide on the partners, and parents are invited as a guests, right? இங்கே நம்ம அப்படி இல்லை. ஓகே, we are the parents and we conduct the marriage, and the bride and bridegroom are the puppets. ஓகே, சரிங்க, நம்ம பசங்களுக்கு வரும்போது நம்ம பண்ணுவோம், ஒருவேளை அந்த வாய்ப்பு நம்மளுக்கு கிடச்சிதுன்னா. ஓகே, அப்படி இருந்ததுன்னா நம்ம அதை ரன் பண்ணுவோம், இல்லைன்னா நம்ம ஃபேமிலியில் இப்படி தான் இருக்குது, இதுதான் நம்ம கல்ச்சர், ரைட்? ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் ஹவ் இட் ஒர்க்ஸ். எனிவே, கம்மிங் பேக் டு தட், தி ஒரிஜினல் பார்ட், this is a kind of, some kind of things that we have been following, okay, from our birth, okay, which has been programmed, and that's what, we want to ensure that the newly wed bride or groom understands this, right? So இதுதான் அந்த ஒரு transition path. இது ஒரு ஃபேமிலியில் பிரச்சனையில் கூடவே இருப்போம். இதுதான் நம்ம இவ்வளோ நாள் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருந்தோம். When we are young, when we are small, we were able to do it, right? But this may not happen, okay, in a larger scale in the future, when we are growing up fast. So it is kind of, important for us to talk about what kind of culture, right? What kind of practices that we follow, what kind of beliefs we have, what kind of values that we value, right? So within the parts konjam idha irukradanaala, we wanted to highlight this as part of our today's call and give us an idu. And one more thing that I want to share here is a couple of points. Okay, there is nothing between good bad with respect to the cultures. நம்ம சொல்கிறது தான் கரெக்டாக இருக்கணும்னு அவசியம் இல்லை. ஓகே, எது வேணாலும் கரெக்டாக இருக்கலாம். ரெண்டாவது பாட்டு, இது நம்ம புதுசாக பண்ணுறதில்ல, இது வரைக்கும் நம்ம பையனில் ப்ரோக்ராம் பண்ணது தான், அதை தான் நம்ம பண்ண போகிறோம். Okay, let's say, I give you a very quick example of why this becomes very important. Let's say you are going in or MRTS or busliyo போறீங்க. You are seeing an old lady or old man. What will you do? You are sitting in an MRTS bus or MRTS train or bus, right? இப்போ ஒருத்தர் உள்ளே வராரு, ட்ரெயின் நிற்குது, ஒருத்தர் உள்ளே வராரு, கொஞ்சம் வயசான ஆளோ இல்லைன்னா வயசான லேடியோ இல்லை ஒரு ப்ரெக்னென்ட் லேடியோ வராங்க, என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க நீங்கள்? எந்திரிச்சு சீட்டை கொடுப்போம். இது யாராவது உங்களுக்கு சொன்னாங்களா? இல்லை சொன்னால் தான் பண்ணுவோமா? பட் நம்ம மைண்டில் ப்ரோக்ராம் பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம். வாட் இஸ் தட்? வி பிலீவ் தட் வி ஹாவ் டு ரெஸ்பெக்ட் எல்டர்ஸ், ரைட்? தட்ஸ் எ பிலீஃப். அதோட ரியாக்ஷன் தான் நம்ம எந்திரிச்சு தானாக பண்ணுறது. இதை தான் நம்ம இதில் ப்ரோக்ராம் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ஓகே, இந்த ப்ரோக்ராமிங்கை தான் நம்ம கல்ச்சர்னு சொல்கிறோம். ஓகே, திஸ் இஸ் பேஸ்ட் ஆன் யுவர் பிலீஃப்ஸ், ஓகே, யுவர் வேல்யூஸ், யுவர் மைண்ட் செட். இந்த ப்ரோக்ராமிங் ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக நடக்கும்போது எல்லாமே கரெக்டாக நடக்கும். ஓகே, ஸோ திஸ் பீயிங் எ நியூ இயர், ஓகே, many of you have taken resolutions, right? யாரா எடுத்திருக்கீங்களா இல்லையா? Okay, so the guys who know, for who have taken the resolutions, I really say, like, good, congratulations, and I want you to keep it up. Okay, for the guys who have not taken up, I will give you a different option, a different trial. Okay, with the moment you have a resolution, right, it becomes a burden on your head, right? காலைல எந்திரிச்சு நான் வந்து ஒர்க் அவுட் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு நான் பண்ண போகிறதில்ல. எந்திரிச்சு வாக்கிங் போகணும், ஒர்க் அவுட் பண்ணணும், வெயிட்டை குறைக்கணும் அப்படிங்கும்போது யூ ஃபோக்கஸ் ஆன் தி அவுட்புட், ரைட்? But alternatively, you can change it in a different way. Okay, you have to make sure you are healthy both in mentally and physically, right? You start believing that only with the healthy mind and body you will be able to achieve everything. Then you will start valuing lot of things that are going to affect or that is going to improve your health, not just one element of exercising, right? அப்படி நீங்கள் பண்ணிங்கன்னா நீங்கள் வந்து காலையில் எழுந்திரிச்சிட்டு ஓடணுங்கிறதுக்கு எந்த அளவுக்கு இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸ் கொடுக்குறீங்களோ, ஜங்க் ஃபுட்டை சாப்பிடக்கூடாதுங்கிறதுக்கு அதே இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸ் கொடுப்பீங்க, ரைட்? திஸ் இஸ் வாட் எக்ஸாக்ட்லி இஸ் பீங் கவர்ட் as part of the mindset in our program. Okay, then you will start looking at outcome rather than output. Okay, then your mindset will automatically programmed for that. And the mindset we already programmed at econ. Okay, அந்த மைண்ட் செட்டை தான் நம்ம வந்து ஈக்கானில் ஆல்ரெடி ப்ரோக்ராம் பண்ணி வச்சுருக்கிறோம் வித் எவ்ரி ஒன் ஆஃப் அஸ். அந்த இதை தான் நம்ம கன்வே பண்ணுறோம். நார்மலி இது பண்ண வேண்டிய தேவையில்லை. பிகாஸ் வி ஸ்மால்லாம் நம்மளுக்கே தெரியும், ப்ராக்டிக்கலாக பார்த்து பண்ணோம், எல்லாம் பண்ணோம். இப்போ புதுசாக வரவங்களுக்கும் இப்போ இருக்கிறவங்களுக்குமே நம்மளுக்கு வந்து ஒரு டைமில் பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் க்ரோத், பிகாஸ் வி ஆர் க்ரோன் டு அன் ஏர்லி ஸ்டேஜ் ஆஃப் லைக் probably a toddler to kids to an adolescent, we are getting to a stage where we are getting married. We are getting bigger. Okay, we have a lot of responsibility. So it's time for us to kind of put this into our thoughts. Okay, so idu da idoda background. Okay, with this as a background, okay, let me start with the areas that we want to, or the basic the elements of our culture. Okay, econ oda culture la edadella vandu nama vandu main ah nama vandu idhil eduthukurom, edadella the beliefs, values, இதை பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் நம்ம எடுக்கிறோம். நம்மளோட ஹிஸ்ட்ரி இது எல்லாமே இதில் வந்து பார்ட் ஆஃப் இது. ஓகே, ஸோ இதை வச்சு நீங்கள் நம்ம வந்து எடுத்ததில்லை. வி ஆல் நோ, ஓகே, சம்திங் இஸ் நியூ. ஓகே, இட்ஸ் டெக்னாலஜி ஃபர்ஸ்ட். ஓகே, திஸ் இஸ் த பிரின்சிபல், ரைட்? இந்த பிரின்சிபலாக தான் நம்ம கம்பெனியே ரன் பண்ணி இருக்கிறோம் ஃப்ரம் டே ஒன். I'll give you examples of that, right? But technology now is not limited only for the products. Okay, how many of you know technology? How many of you can define technology? Can anyone give an definition on that? Or at least how it is different from science or engineering? No? See, basically, the technology, idoda real use cases vara aramchu probably like first world or second world. It's all about like the application of the science. Okay, application and deep understanding of science to deploy or to leverage to do what you want to do. So idu vandu particularly idukku mattum dhaan kedaiyadu. Okay, it comes up with every single element of our element or every single function. Okay, in the technology is not limited to only for R&D. Right? It could be for like how do you take our products to reach to the right target audience with minimal cost? What kind of methods that we are going to implement? What kind of systems we are going to use? Right? Have you ever seen anything called patents? And the patent edha or example sollungala, adu title edha onu sollungala. Arun, adathaan nama technology mbom. So that's exactly what like more of that. But that doesn't come by just copying or looking at others. You have to develop the deep understanding of the internals to come up with the right technology, to develop the right level of technology, a right level of system or method or practice. அதுதான் நம்மளோட whole company-ஓட bread and butter-ல இருக்கு. Okay, let me start with a very simple example. Our founders like Hari and Maha, okay, they started their career with the just before Econ. They were working on porting Linux onto a new processor that was developed by DRDO. Okay, இங்கே வந்து நம்ம இப்போ பண்ணுற மாதிரி எடுக்கிறோம், பில்டு பண்ணுறோம், காப்பி அடிக்கிறோம், போட்டு அதெல்லாம் கிடையாது. அங்கே எல்லாமே ஸ்க்ராட்ச்லேருந்து எழுதணும். How do you write it? If you don't know how that processor works, or if you don't know how the Linux kernel is constructed, if you don't know how entry.s is programmed, how do you define the architecture, instructions, இதெல்லாம் தெரியாமல் நம்ம எப்படி பண்ணுவோம்? பட் இதுதான் ஃபவுண்டர்ஸோட ஹிஸ்ட்ரியே இங்கே. Okay, and porting Linux onto a completely new processor is like, it's not at all a mean task by any chance. It's an astronomical task. இந்த ஒர்க்கில் தான் நம்ம வந்திருக்கிறோம். Now you understand where our history comes from. This is what our attitude on that. Okay, இந்த மெத்தடும் இந்த ப்ராசஸும் தான் நம்ம எல்லா இடத்துலையும் காமிச்சிக்கிட்டு இருக்கிறோம். We will be like having our best methods of like reaching out to our customers with our online store, right? Or even our sales guys are developing the methods to qualify and attack the right customers. Right? These are all like systems, methods, practices which are used for our growth. Okay, இது நம்ம கன்சிஸ்டண்டாக பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கிறோம். Okay, இது நம்மளோட பேக், and we have never been like afraid of that or shied away from that. Okay, wherever we possible, we try to get a deep understanding and go to the deep of implementations, adoda operations, and work out something out of it, or may develop a method out of it. Okay, I can give you some examples of that. Like, I don't have any issues because I can keep on doing it, but I have to limit with few. Okay, so this is our main. Okay, this is our main bread and butter. Okay, let's start with like I started with pre-econ, right, where founders have got that experience from the porting of that Linux kernel. Okay, the moment we came into econ, we were kind of the first company to have the Windows C camera drivers. Maybe Madhu, Vinod, Prabhu ivungalukku theriyum. And we sold the driver to Elbit Systems, because at that time we had a complete understanding of Windows C as good as Linux. In fact, Maha was referring one particular product which was very, very funny product, and that was for Tata Telecoms, one particular product for Pine Labs, Parsec. So that device is running Linux, okay, and with one USB drive you have to insert, then suddenly it has to become a Windows C powered device. இந்த மேஜிக்கெல்லாம் நம்மளுக்கு தான் முடியும், ஏன்னா நம்மளுக்கு தான் அந்த டெக்னாலஜி தெரியும். ஆனால் இது பக்காவாக மேஜிக் தான் அது. என்ன பிரபு? இதுதான் நம்மளோட இந்த அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங் இது இருக்கிறதுனால தான் we are able to do something that others are finding it very difficult to do it. Okay, இன்னைக்கு வால்மார்ட்டில் ஒரு கேள்வி வந்து எனக்கு வந்து இந்த ஸ்கேனை நம்ம எடுக்கணும்னு நினச்சோன்னா வினோத் அண்ட் ஹிஸ் டீம் கேன் ஒர்க் வித் அருண் ஆர் எனிஒன் டு மேக் ஆல் தி சேஞ்சஸ் டு கெட் இட் டன். அவர் அங்கே இது ஆஹா மூமெண்ட்டுங்கிறாரு. சஃபி வந்து இது மாதிரி தான் சார் எனக்கு வேணுங்கிறாரு. So that comes because of our technology. Not only that, okay, in the camera until idilla vandu with the MIPI driver for camera. I think Prabhu and his team will know that. So we spend a lot of time figuring out with the limited resources how to get it done. Right? And we were the first company to have the MIPI camera drivers for embedded processors. And that was a huge hit. Right? And similarly for these stereo cameras, Surya Tara first embedded stereo camera with 3730, right? So that was also our first camera for that, right? So very similar to that, we have done we've been developing these kind of technologies which are defining moments. இன்னைக்கு நம்மளோட main cash cow of all the onsemi products are based on sensor ISP combination, and Arun is a master expert on that. அவர் மாஸ்டர், அவர் உள்ள உட்காந்தானா அதில் உட்காந்து என்ன வேணால் பண்ணுவோம். நான் வந்து I used to tell Hari and Maha when they used to code, right, if I give you the sheet of paper or if I take some compilation from Tirunavukarasu, they can compile it and see. ஏன்லாம் கேட்க அவங்க பண்ணிடுவாங்க. அந்த அளவுக்கு அவங்க மாஸ்டர்ஸ். அந்த மாதிரியான மாஸ்டர்ஸ் தான் நம்ம டெக்னாலஜியில் நம்ம டெவலப் பண்ணி வச்சுருக்கிறோம், ரைட்? So these are all the examples that I wanted to share on this side, on the technology side. And very similar to that for the manufacturing. We had lots of problems with trapped charges with a couple of our main customers whom I have seen, okay. And Deepan and his team found a way and method to solve that problem, both inside our factory and given or convey the same technology to our customers, both for enhanced vision and Thermo Fisher. ஏன்னா நம்ம வந்து அந்த ஒரு ப்ரொடெக்டிவ் ஃபில்ம் எடுத்துட்டோம்னா we have our sensors being affected because of the charge that is getting trapped inside the sensors, which is completely new, unexpected problem. Okay, இதை டீப்பாக அனலைஸ் பண்ணி அதை சால்வ் பண்ணி அதுக்கான டெக்னாலஜி டெவலப் பண்ணி இப்படி தான் இதை பண்ணணும்னு ஒரு மெத்தட் எடுத்து அதை நம்ம எல்லாத்துக்கும் கொடுத்துக்கிட்டு இருக்கோம். So see, this is all the technology that is covering all aspects or all functions at Econ. Okay. Very similarly with GMSL. Okay. So nammaloda GMSL cameras, which we developed, Anand, the 15 meter we launch panna, we are the first ones with full HD streaming. And that hardware is kind of very difficult to integrate for our customers. And Gomiti was saying this. Okay. None of our customers are able to integrate it, even though we give complete schematics of the deserializer and also the layout. அப்படியே நம்ம ஃப்ரீயாக கொடுத்தாலும் அதை இன்டெகிரேட் பண்ணுறக்கே கஷ்டப்படுறாங்க. ஆனால் நம்ம வந்து அது கன்சிஸ்டண்ட்டாக அடிச்சுட்டு இருக்கிறோம். நம்மளால் இன்றைக்கி எந்த கேமரா கேட்டாலும் ஜிஎம்எஸ்ல கொடுக்க முடியும், வித் இதோட கொடுக்க முடியுது. ஓகே, ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் வாட் we have developed and we have been focusing on the technology, but it has taken a lot of time. Okay, nothing, it's not that it has done overnight. Okay, we invested on this technology, we encouraged people to do on that and created this technology. Okay, and that is the core. Okay, so on the level kind of hardware or software or mechanical or we have been investing on that and we'll continue to invest. Okay, right now also we are investing, because not only here, Maha will explain a lot, we have been investing on these kind of new technology areas across the functions. It could be for lens gluing, for example. Maheshwari work pandrathu idellame pathina, we understand that it is imperative for Econ to focus on technology to be relevant in the market, otherwise we won't be. I think some of you from freshers might be knowing the first lesson that I learned when I was joining GD on the first day. Okay, engaloda boss TVK sir irundar, TV Kathigan, our statement, I think some of you would be knowing, whether you like it or not, you are on a treadmill. The moment you enter this engineering field, you are on a treadmill. Even to keep yourself stable, you have to keep walking, or else you will be falling out. Okay, we know that as a company, we know that, and all of us know that, and this is an understanding that is driving this. This is a belief that driving this particular aspect of our culture. Okay, and there are other areas. Okay, so what are the other things that we have to focus, right? So we have to have the create an mindset of learn and grow. Okay, we are going to talk about that. Okay, and we should have an attitude that anything is possible, right? So that's also we're going to talk about it. And of course, we all should have an environment. Ellam pesalam, but adukana environment venulla to create that environment. What is the environment that allows you to free to explore? So those are all elements of our culture at Econ that we want to just remain within ourselves and ask us, all of us, to have this in our back of our mind. So that we will focus on this part, we will address this part, we will look at everything with this kind of a mindset, with this mindset of a back of the mind, which is there for all of us. I'm not saying we don't have, we have it. It's just kind of what do you call it as or marubodivu அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி. Okay, அந்த கான்செப்ட்ல தான் we are going to do. So what is that action? Okay, so the action is very simple. Okay, the technology is what the backbone for our growth and our existence, and growth. So have that as mind. Okay, every day, wherever you look at it, okay, go deep, figure out how we can develop better process, better systems, okay, and better techniques. Okay, and what will you get if you focus on these things? What will you get? You will get wonderful products, right? And I'll give you a very simple example, which I wanted to, I've been sharing for all our Visay team members. Okay, so GMSL, when we had an idea of the AMR, okay, we said there is a camera requirement for a camera for object recognition. Why? How much data we have? We don't have much data, but idu thevai. Okay, adukkaga we figured out GMSL. We could have, we looked at Ethernet and other stuff, right? And finally figured that we'll go GMSL. Okay, because that gives you longer range and uncompressed streaming. Okay, and how do we define this? Because we understand that what is inside an AMR with respect to visual sensor. How did we get it? We developed one technology for rover, and which we unfortunately failed, but of course, that's anyway. It's all part of life, right? We can't have only success. We'll always have failures as well. Right? So, adila nama kattukittadu idu. So, idu thevai appdi. Idu base panni nama edukrom. So, the moment you have an understanding of maybe a product or a market or an application or or a new science, okay, we will develop that technology closely. So, now we are developing technologies on the time of flight, Radhika and Push. So they are the guys who are running or developing the technology of the time of flight and how to build the time of flight. So that's one sale we are doing. RGBIR. Okay. So those kind of technologies we are developing, and at Visay also we are developing new technologies. So more and more technologies we develop, we will always come up with the right level, or we will always be able to come up with successful products. Okay. And definitely the patents. Patents are techniques, methods, which is done for a particular application in a novel way. We will automatically reach there because we spend more time on the technology, figuring out, getting a deeper understanding of it, and figuring out how to use it for a specific application. Then we come up with a method, or a process, or a system, or an apparatus, which are like part of our patents. So we'll get both patents for our individual growth and also for company's growth. We'll get these successful products. Okay, adukku thevai having a mindset or a principle that technology is our first. Okay. So this is the kind of, I will say, as a call to action for all of us to have this in the back of our mind. Okay, fine. Okay, so with this note, I just would like to say once again, and wonderful New Year ahead, and thank you for all of you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ashok. I would like to invite the next speaker with a quote, and this applies to every walk of life, what he believes and he has translated so far. The quote is from Mr. Jack Welch, and the quote goes like this: an organization's ability to learn and translate that learning into action is the ultimate competitive advantage. So what does it mean? Until you learn, and if you are able to convert this learning into an action, that is what is going to be your competitive advantage, was the wise man's quote. And a person of our choice, a person who believed and who has been driving this vehemently inside the organization, is none other than Mr. Hari Shankar. I would request Mr. Hari Shankar to come and introduce the second culture anchor.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Ashok பேசலாம் தூங்கிட்டீங்களா? சரி, okay. But Ashok, you said we are all puppets, and we wish we'll make our sons as puppets. No, myself and Maha are not puppets. Okay. So this is interesting. Learn and grow. So basically, Econ has been built in last 18 years with just this learn and grow culture. Okay. I remember many stories, but I'll just recall some of them. It will be something interesting to you guys. So 2003, when we started, we were a design services company, engineering services company, where we will do engineering service for everyone. Okay, so somebody in L&T might ask us to do some project. Somebody in HCL might ask us to do some project. So we'll just go and do it. But the thing is that they will never expose the end customer to us. Like, we'll be working with the end customer, but we'll never be exposed to them. So at some point we decided that we'll not work with this design houses if they don't expose us to the end customer. Well, initially there was a drop in the sales, but then our brand picked up. The moment we did it, The moment we said we are going to stand by what we are supposed to do, immediately the customers in the US started looking at us as a brand and we got getting orders. So we learned the hard lesson that yes, for the sake of money we cannot do anything, but we have to do services only for clients where actually our name can get exposed. So if you are doing to, let's say, an end client, our name, let's say you are doing it for Microsoft, or if you're doing a project for Google, your name has to get exposed. Should not be like you're doing a project for HCL and basically HCL is doing a project for Microsoft and so on. So that was a interesting learning process. So our entire journey has been full of these interesting learning process, but this was something like a milestone for us, kind of milestone. How many of you have seen our YouTube videos? Like YouTube channel, videos பார்த்திருக்கீங்களா எல்லாரும்? How many of you? So what is the first video that got published? Anyone? No? Yeah, some show only, but what show was it? What show was it? Yeah. So, thanks, Arun. Let's give him a good hand. So, basically it was MEDC 2007. So, that was our first trade show. And we went there, we had a booth. And we went around, everybody had very good backdrops, but we didn't have any backdrop. We just had Econ Systems board there, nothing else. And we had some demos. And since we were traveling for 36 hours to reach the booth, we couldn't set up the demos also on time. But there are a lot of people visited us and we gave our business cards. Then when we started contacting customers later on, they said, hey, we met you at this booth, right? You didn't have a backdrop. So we said, ஒண்ணுமே போடாமே ஒருத்தன் வந்து பேசுறான், ஒழுங்கா ஏன் போடக்கூடாதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு then we started learning about how to put backdrop. So today we have done more than 70 trade shows across the world. ஒரு ஊரில் யூஎஸில் போட்டிருக்கோம், யூரோப்பில் போட்டிருக்கோம், ஜப்பானில் போட்டிருக்கோம், கொரியாவில் போட்டிருக்கோம். நம்ம போகாமையே பூத்து போடுற அளவுக்கு அனிதா வந்து டெக்னாலஜி பில்டு பண்ணிட்டாங்க. இப்போ கோபால் கூப்பிட்டு பூத்து போட்டோன்னா கோபால் போட்டுருவார். அந்த அளவுக்கு we have actually improved on our skill sets of putting a booth or a trade show with lot of backdrops, real-away professional-ஆ இருக்கும். So that was a big learning lesson for us. Like trade shows improve on our branding. People வராங்க, நம்மளை பார்க்குறாங்க, and then they don't give orders immediately, but they go back, then they download content later on at a later point of time, which gives us all these leads which we see. இது வந்து எங்களுக்கு பயங்கரமான ஒரு லெசன். So that was again very interesting lesson in 2007. So 13-14ல 25N5 ன்னு ஒன்று பண்ணோம். எவ்வளோ பேருக்கு தெரியும்? சுதா, Ram Prasad, so Madhu, okay, and then we have Hari Prasad. So in the 25N5 na enna 5 years, at that time we were doing about 7 million or something in revenue in 2013-14. So I don't know how much we are doing that time, 7 million perhaps. So we said we'll be 25 million in 5 years. Okay, so 25N5 in 5 years time. So by 18-19 we should have supposed to reach 25 million, but we didn't reach. Only in this year we are crossing 25 million. We'll be hitting 26 million this year. Okay, so it has taken 8 years instead of the 5 years. So we learnt a lot. So we said, because why did it fail? Steve Jobs made a very famous quote, a goal without a plan is just a wish. So we had a goal of reaching 25 million in 5 years, but we did not have a detailed plan for it. Now Econ is aspiring to become 100 million in 4 years time, and we'll definitely make it. We have a very detailed plan. So நாங்கள் சொன்னால் நம்ப மாட்டீங்கன்னு சொல்லி கூட ஒரு இன்வெஸ்டரையும் கூட்டிகிட்டு வரோம். So he will come and he is going to question. So basically எங்களுக்கும் அது நல்லது தான், because last time when we did it on our own. This time we will have an investor who will also support what we are saying. ஓகே, ஸோ அதுதான் வந்து இந்த 25 and 5 it's a big learn and grow for us. Okay, so we learnt a lesson that we should have a detailed plan. ஸோ இப்போ எஸ்கியூஎல் எம்கியூஎல்லேருந்து எஸ்கியூஎல் எவ்வளோ வரும், எஸ்கியூஎல்லேருந்து எவ்வளோ டிசைன் வின் வரும், டிசைன் வின்லேருந்து எவ்வளோ ரெவன்யூ ஈச் அண்ட் எவ்ரி இயர். ஐ மீன் people who are familiar with concept of design wins, SQL, NQL will understand what I'm saying. But we have a very detailed plan. So anytime you can come and ask me, I'm open to these questions. எப்படிப்பா 100 million achieve பண்ணுவீங்கன்னு கேளுங்க, நான் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணுறேன். So we have such a detailed plan. Execution is one where we have to work on. We have to hire people in the US like fleet on street எடுத்துகிட்டு வரணும். ஸோ அதெல்லாம் தான் இட்ஸ் a big learn and grow இந்த 25 and 5 எங்களுக்கு. So you fail, you learn, you grow. So this is how econ has been. So 2015 வரைக்கும் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா we were all very much focused on only the US market. So 2015 வரைக்கும் econ-ஓட business பார்த்தீங்கன்னா entire business வந்து யூஎஸ்லேருந்து மட்டும்தான், ஒரு US West Coast. Because founders வந்து we all, myself, Maha, Ashok, we were all traveling only to the US West and US East. We are not traveling to any parts of the world. ஸோ என்ன பண்ணோம், 2015 வந்து we hired Shafi as the head of European sales. ஸோ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா what did Shafi do? First thing என்ன பண்ணார், he hired a lieutenant வசந்தை ஹையர் பண்ணார். Then what he did was he took stakeholders along with him to the geography. ஸோ எவ்ரி டைம் அவர் போகும்போது அசோக்கை கூட்டிகிட்டு போவார், இல்லை மகாவை கூட்டிகிட்டு போவார், இல்லை என்னை கூட்டிகிட்டு போவார், இல்லை கோமதியை கூட்டிகிட்டு போவார். அவர் வந்து கூட்டிகிட்டு போனது மட்டும் இல்லை, ஹி வாஸ் வெரி வெரி அக்ரெசிவ். இப்போ கோமதியெலாம் நீங்கள் எவ்வளோ பேர்ப்பா வித்தவுட்டில் ட்ராவல் பண்ணியிருக்கீங்க? எவ்வளோ பேர் வித்தவுட்டில் ட்ராவல் பண்ணியிருக்கீங்க? வித்தவுட்டில் ட்ராவல் பண்ணியிருக்கீங்க, உள்ளூரில் ட்ராவல் பண்ணியிருக்கீங்க. அவர் வந்து ஜெர்மனியில் வித்தவுட்டில் ட்ராவல் பண்ண வச்சார் கோமதியை. கோமதி அரண்டு போயிட்டார். ஓ, நான் உள்ளூர்லேயே வித்தவுட்டில் ட்ராவல் பண்ணதில்லப்பா, என்னை வெளியூரில் ட்ராவல் பண்ண வச்சிட்டிங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டு. ஸோ ஹீ புட் பீப்புள் இன் த ட்ரெயின் அண்ட் ஹீ மேட் தம் ட்ராவல் டு ரீச் கஸ்டமர்ஸ் ஆன் டைம். நான் போனேன், அட்லீஸ்ட் வந்து ஜெர்மனிக்குள்ளே பண்ண வச்சார். என்னை இன்டர்நேஷ்னல் பார்டர் செக்கு கண்ட்ரிக்கு போயிட்டோம், செக்குலேருந்து ஜெர்மனிக்கு நாங்கள் போயாகணும். அதுக்கு ஒரு ட்ரெயின் இருக்குது, ட்ரெயினை மிஸ் பண்ணிட்டோம். ஆனால் இந்த ட்ரெயினுக்கு அப்புறம் அடுத்த ட்ரெயின் வந்து ஒரு 2 minutes கிளம்புது, அதுக்கு டிக்கெட் இல்லை. ஸோ இந்த ட்ரெயினை மிஸ் பண்ணிட்டு பக்கத்து ட்ரெயினை ஏற சொல்லிட்டார், ஏறுங்க ட்ரெயினில் அப்படின்ட்டார். ஏறினா அவன் கொடுக்குறான், நாங்கள் இந்த டிக்கெட்டை ஒன்றுட்டு காமிக்க சொன்னார். பழைய ட்ரெயினை மாற்றி ஏறிட்டோம்னு சொல்லி கதை விடலான்னு சொல்லிட்டு டிக்கெட்டை காமிக்க சொன்னார். அவனுக்கு மொழியும் புரியல, ஒன்றும் புரியல. அப்புறம் அங்கே இருக்கிற ஃபெலோ பேசஞ்சர் எவனோ ஒருத்தர் இங்கிலீஷ் தெரிஞ்சு எங்களுக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணி எங்களை காப்பாற்றினான். பண்ணி we came to Germany and we met clients. என்னன்னா what I'm trying to say is he was very very aggressive and very focused on getting European business up. So before he came in, the business was $600,000 in 2015-16. இன்னைக்கு வந்து 5.2 million, almost 9 times in 6 years grow ஆயிருக்கு. ஸோ இது ஒரு லெசன். ஸோ ஒரு ஜாகிரஃபியில் ஒரு ஆளை மட்டும் போட்டால் பத்தாது, அந்த ஜாகிரஃபிக்கு ரிப்பீட்டடாக விசிட் பண்ணணும். யூ நீட் அ டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூட்டர் ஆர் அ ரெப்ரசன்டேட்டிவ் தேர் லோக்கலி டு ட்ராவல் அலாங் வித் யூ. ஓகே, ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் லெசன் லேர்ன். ஸோ இதே லெசனை நம்ம என்ன பண்ணியிருக்கோம், வி ஹவ் ஆல்சோ புட் இன் கொரியா. நவ் வி ஹவ் ராம்கி who's doing it in Korea. Now we have got Kumar. எங்கப்பா குமார்? Kumar is doing in India now. So ஜப்பானுக்கு சதீஷ் எடுத்துகிட்டு வந்திருக்கோம். So then we have Arvind now US West. So now we have to make all these guys travel now. And they have to travel across these geographies to meet them. So Korea already we've been like 2019 மட்டுமே 4 times போயிட்டு வந்திருக்கோம். Japan 17 we started this, and 18-19 we visited 4 to 6 times in a year. ட்ரேட் ஷோலாம் போட ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டோம் ஜப்பானில். அண்ட் ஈஸிலி வந்து they are both scoring more than $1 million, $2 million ஆஃப் பிஸ்னஸ் வந்து ஈச் அந்த 2 ஜாகிரஃபியும் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருக்கேன் இன்றைக்கி. ஸோ திஸ் அ பிக் லேர்ன் அண்ட் க்ரோ லெசன் ஃபார் அஸ். ஸோ எப்படி ஒரு ஜாகிரஃபியை ஃபுல்லாக பிளாட் பண்ணி அடிக்கிறதுன்றது we have learnt now. So we can do this across any geography if we follow this process. Of course, we have to hire more magicians like Shafi, and I hope Ramki is one of them. So இது வந்து ஒரு பிக் லெசன். இன்னொரு விஷயம், டெக்னாலஜி சைடில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னாலும் we are actually again doing a lot of learn and grow. GMSL, okay, Maxim was there 2 weeks ago in the office. Ashok was also mentioning about it, but I thought I'll also spend some time on it. ஸோ அவங்க சொன்னாங்க இந்தியாவிலேயே nobody is able to integrate this deserializer on the board like Econ is doing, and they are running into a lot of support issues with even like big guys like Mahindra and Mahindra. எல்லாம் ஏன்னா GMSL market வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா almost 75% is automotive. Like 75% of the automotive business is running on GMSL technology. FPD link is no more. So நாங்கள் இதை பார்த்துட்டு அப்புறம் தான் we started investing in GMSL. We said this is going to come into embedded vision now soon, so GMSL is a technology which we should invest. So Ashok spot பண்ணாரு, GMSL investment வந்து started, and the R&D team almost spent more than a year and a half. Okay, GMSL உங்களுக்கு த்ரூபுட்டே வராது, 3 மீட்டரில் போனால். ஆனால் பிரபு was vehement that he should get it in 15 meters. 15 மீட்டரில் எனக்கு லேட்டன்சி இல்லாமல் வேணுன்றது தான், that was a requirement. Okay, from Prabhu, that this is how it has to be done if we launch a product, and so that we stand apart. அது கடைசியாக பண்ணிட்டாங்க. Today we can make any of our cameras as GMSL cameras, and entire AMR market, okay, is moving towards GMSL. What was Ethernet was எல்லாருமே வந்து AMR market ஃபுல்லாகவே GMSLக்கு மூவ் ஆகிட்டு இருக்கு. So the guys who worked on it, GMSL பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, it was not alone just the cameras but also enclosure, IP67 இதெல்லாம் வேறு ஒர்க் பண்ணாங்க. வேல்முருகன், ராஜேஷ், then we have Anandraj who worked on the enclosure extensively. Then we have Suresh on the product reliability side. எக்ஸ்டென்சிவாக வேலை போயிருக்கு அந்த ப்ராடக்ட்டுக்காக. lot of learnings, and the growth is we have now started applying this whatever we have learned in GMSL cameras across all our cameras. ஒரு கேமராவில் பண்ணோம், CU20யில் பண்ணோம், then we did it in our AR0234 நம்ம இதில் பண்ணோம், global shutter camera அதில் implement பண்ணோம். So we are going on expanding it. So any camera we can make it GMSL. So அந்த மாதிரி லெவலில் we have gone to this learn and grow stage. Then we have this VVDN movement. Like வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 2019-20 வரைக்கும் we were actually working with Sirma. So basically shipment was happening very easily. So any shipment that used to happen, like our production test engineers will go to Sirma, do the testing, and if there is any issue, some senior guy will go look at the issue, repair it, then we'll be able to ship. Now due to the pandemic now, then we shifted from Sirma to VVDN. VVDN is in Haryana. Nanacha போக முடியாது. So that's where we had to improve our production quality process. So basically there was a detailed test plan rolled out so that VVDN can do the testing themselves and ship it directly to the customer. So that was a big involvement from SPN team. So SPN team did this detailed test plan, they drafted it and made sure that products can be directly exported from VVDN to the customer. So இது என்ன காமிக்குதுன்னா, we are able to navigate from one EMS to another EMS to in a seamless way. Okay, நீட்டாக பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ப்ளஸ் அந்த டீட்டெயில்டு டெஸ்ட் ப்ராசஸ் இருக்குது. நம்ம குவாலிட்டியில் எங்கேயுமே காம்ப்ரமைஸ் பண்ணல. we have maintained quality, if not we have improved it. So இதெல்லாம் வந்து thanks to SPN team. So it's a learning process. So when actually we did it, everything in Sirma, we never bothered about it. Okay, so but when we started getting into like a third party EMS na fulla வந்து அந்த when they try to export, there are a lot of issues in quality. நம்ம இதெல்லாம் பார்க்கவே இல்லைங்க. அங்கே எப்படி வருதுன்னா, இங்கே இருக்கிற கரெக்டான ப்ரொடக்ஷன் டெஸ்ட் இன்ஜினியர் அங்கே போக முடியல பேண்டமிக்னால அப்படின்னாங்க. So then we understood the problem. We had to implement the detailed process so that ஈவன் மலேசியாவில் நாளைக்கு நம்ம இன்னொரு EMS கண்டுபிடிச்சா அவன் மூலமாகவும் ஒழுங்காக அனுப்ப முடியணும் இந்த ப்ராசஸை வச்சுக்கிட்டு. ஓகே, தட் ஷுட் பி த வே அவர் குவாலிட்டி டீம் ஹஸ் ஒர்க்ட் அண்ட் அச்சீவ் திஸ். ஸோ ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ், ஸோ கன்க்ளூஷன், ஜஸ்ட் வாண்டட் டு கன்க்ளூட் திஸ் திங். நீங்கள் டெய்லி வீட்டுக்கு போகும்போது அட்லீஸ்ட் ட்ரை டு சி வாட் யூ ஹவ் லேர்ன் டுடே. ஓகே, நீங்கள் என்ன கற்றுக்கிட்டோம்? எனி டைம் சேல்ஸ், மார்க்கெட்டிங், இன்ஜினியரிங், services, யாராக இருந்தாலும் just see what you have learned today. At the end of the day, இன்றைக்கி நம்ம என்ன எடுத்துகிட்டு போகிறோம், and just every month கொஞ்சம் வந்து உட்காந்து பாருங்கள், what have you grown, என்ன பண்ணிகிட்ருக்கோம், நம்ம எப்படி க்ரோ ஆகிட்டு இருக்கோம், what are the new things which you have learned, what are the new things which we can say that we have grown. அது வந்து நீங்கள் வாட்ச் பண்ணிகிட்டே இருங்க. ஸோ this is a culture which we have built almost like 18 years. இப்படி தான் grow ஆயிருக்கும். Always we learnt, we have grown to this stage. Any questions, guys? ஏதாவது questions இருக்கா? யாருக்குமே எதுவும் இல்லையா? Okay. I wish you a happy new year 2022 year.
Thank you, Hari. So, Econ can also be called as Ardhanarishwar because this Shakti decided to join us long back. And today, Shakti power or women power is a very important component of Econ, not in terms of this leader. The entire totality of number of women that we have in the organization is one of the highest benchmark we have ever achieved. So, I request Maheshwari, the Shakti behind Econ, to an address on an important value statement. Anything is possible. I would like to introduce with another quote as a prelude. Every acknowledgement starts with the decision to try, and this try of as early as 2005-06 has grown to this extent in terms of balancing the diversities that we have within the team and the contribution. I request Maheshwari to come and wish.
Good evening, everybody. Time ஆச்சு, dinner time ஆச்சுல? எல்லாத்துக்கும் பயங்கரமா பசிக்குது. So, எனர்ஜியே இல்ல. கரெக்டா? குமார் சத்தமே இல்ல. Okay, guys. Okay, so meeting you in the new year. Very happy new year to everyone. Thank you. So, it was a wonderful year to 2021. We had 6+ product launches, and we are here meeting our revenue without any. See, Hari is saying 26 million, yes? So we have already achieved it. So that is the confidence we have. So that this has been possible just because of our hard work in 2021. So I would like to thank each one of you who has given contribution to this success. Thank you, guys. So this success is possible just because of our attitude and our culture. Just anything is possible. So this has been in our blood since Econ's inception. So just because of this culture, we have grown from 100 square feet office space to 80,000 square feet office space now. And we are going to grow more. So this anything is possible culture has made us achieve lot of milestones even in our service eras. So I would like to bring one of the complex projects that we did in our service eras. So the project name is Hadar. So I believe whoever worked on it would have very nice thoughts about it. It's a very complex project wherein we didn't know what to do when we just acquired the project. Everything in the project was new. It had a lot of interfaces, in the world. Like for UI, we had LCD and touch. For authentication, we had fingerprint. We had, for connectivity, we had a wireless connectivity. For financial transactions, we have contact smart card, contactless smart card, magnetic card readers. We had thermal printers. So list is going on and on and on. So everything was integrated and everything was new for Econ. It's thus anything is possible culture made us deliver the project. Anand Raj took care of the hardware. Vinod and Partha took care of Windows CE. The RIL driver, which was new for us, Vinod did it with super success. Yeah, the SIM 300, right? Yeah. So, and Gomati integrated the wireless connectivity. So everything was possible and we delivered the whole product to the customer. So this is all possible because our culture is anything is possible. Nothing stops us in delivering any product, right? So that is that is in our culture imbibed, right? Maha was talking about Pine Labs product, wherein there's a magic of turning itself into a Windows CE machine just with the thumb drive. Madhu did it seamlessly, and customer was amazed seeing it. So this culture has made us deliver each and every product. See, I was working with Vivek and Sandeep for a product called Idea. I just got reminded of Hadar. Just seeing that product was so huge, and we were delivering for an avatar robot. So this culture is with us still, and we are delivering. In this pandemic, I would like to recall a few more instances in our pandemic wherein I would say not pandemic, like say complete lockdown. We were in complete lockdown in our homes, still delivering our products. So we had to show a demo to Ashok, for the TO of demo. The team sat in their respective homes, and ensured the delivery is done. Push came to office whenever it was necessary to give away the hardware to the respective teams. Radhika sat in her home, did the calibration, did TO of tuning to ensure we had that accuracy, right? Accuracy. Anand Raj and team worked on the clock issue. Esaki worked on this firmware for solving the clock issue. And the application team put everything together, was working to have the TO of application. Even one person in the application team had COVID at that point of time, and we had to give a 1-week break. Still, he was not hesitant to take up the job and deliver the application. It was amazing teamwork, and that spirit within the team made it deliver. And we also had our manufacturing unit set up at that point of time. We were not knowing that the lockdown will happen to that severity. So when the plan was all drafted and the vendors were all finalized, we were just 10 days before the lockdown. And during the lockdown, the complete manufacturing unit was set up. Gautam was there every day in the unit, ensuring that the execution was going as per plan, and there will be some challenges in the plan as well, which he ensured it is corrected and delivered. He was like an eyes to me, giving me complete feedbacks and ensuring that everything was as per plan. Ravi took care of AC, electrical, as well as the fire alarm systems. He took care of complete responsibility. Even within the HR team, he completely took over it and delivered. Even in the pandemic, these were all delivered in the pandemic itself. Shiva was working with all the vendors to ensure things were delivered on the manufacturing unit in the pandemic. So the floor laying was happening in the pandemic. So amazing teamwork, right? Barney took care of the clean room. He installed it to the perfection. And you know, everything coming finalized, it's always tough, right? வீடு கட்டும்போது நம்மளுக்கு எப்பவுமே கடைசி தான் ரொம்ப தொல்லையா இருக்கும். So that was all taken care by Sashi. So everything was delivered. I was really amazed when I went into the manufacturing, and it was like what I imagined was there, right? So it was very, very like inspiring to see that team delivered it. It's all because nothing stops us in delivering whatever we want, whatever we imagine. So that is all because of our culture. It is in our blood. We are able to deliver what we just envision, right? So that is how we also transformed ourselves from a services team to a product team. With delivering, we have 65 plus products in our catalog, and we are able to do a recurring revenue year after year. So with this anything is possible culture, I am very certain that each one of us will be able to achieve whatever we want in this year. And Econ as a whole is going to grow several folds and achieve our revenue targets, products, and the brand targets in the upcoming years. Happy New Year to all. Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie. Being a great place to work is the difference between a good company and a great company. Here is a man who always dreams of being a great company and never satisfies himself with being a good company. I request our leader, Mr. Maha, to come and address the gathering.
So, I feel like I'm the Prime Minister today. I don't know, maybe this podium, the whole speech is webcast, though there are buffering issues here and there. Kindly adjust. Background? Background Indian flag, thanks for. Always somebody is there to help me. So I feel like I'm the Prime Minister. So, good evening and good morning to people all around the world. Happy New Year. Yes, we have 4 of our frontline guys in the US. Hopefully, they are also watching this. So they are fighting against Omicron and whatever, and trying to keep our flag high in the US. Shafi, Gomati, Dilip, and Nishant, all of them are there. So I want to wish them as well. So it's a good feeling to come in front of you and give an address today. So I'll start with a small story, right? So there were 2 boys who were in a village, and they went out to explore in the evening, and there was a big well. It was not used. There was no water. It was a deep well. So they fell inside it, and they didn't know what to do. And they were breaking their head. They were trying to figure out how to get out. Okay? They had a lot of time in their hands, but they somehow wanted to get out. When you are put in such a situation, what is your first thought? Would you give up and sit? No, right? You'll think anything is possible. You can come up somehow and do something and get out. And that's what the kids thought. And they had the freedom to explore, go around. Nobody was bothering them, right? So they somehow figured it. They climbed on top of, through the wall. They fell down. They picked a twig on the wall, climbed here. It was dark, so they didn't know what they were doing. And somehow they figured out and they got out. And by the time they got out, it was dawn. They went home. And the whole village was surprised to see them back. They were all searching for them. And they said, no, we fell into the well and we somehow came up. None of them believed. No one will believe, right? Like how after we started a company, nobody believed that we would make it this big. It is always like that. When you try to do something different, people don't believe easily. So the whole group around, they said, no, you're lying. You guys went somewhere, had fun, and you came in the morning. Now tell me the truth. These guys were pissed off. I tried the whole night, yaar, come on, trust me. I came up. I said, no, if you whatever you said is true, we'll take you to the same well. And I will put you inside, both of you. You come up now. And these guys said, okay, we have did it once, we can always do it again. And they put inside the well. This guy caught the first rock and he was trying to climb, and his father started shouting, don't break your head, you will fall. And he took it off. And the other fellow tried to catch a twig. He said, no, don't do that, you may slip. So they tried for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, they couldn't come up at all. And the village decided these guys lied. And they did something and took them out and went. What is the thing behind this? When you have the freedom to explore, when others are not clouding your judgment, when others are not discouraging you, you can always do the most impossible thing that others think. So everything is possible. So according to me, or according to what we have thought, this is freedom to explore is the basis of all the other things. If you have to think something is impossible, you should have the freedom to explore. If you have to learn and grow, you should have the freedom to explore. If I keep shouting at my kid who's in his school, behind his back, saying, hey, don't do that, don't do this, he will never learn. He will never grow, right? So this freedom to explore is one of the key things that we have learned as a company and in Econ Systems as well. And we have done this time and again, mainly because of, like what Ashok said, when we were pushed to very difficult circumstances, where the only answer was yes, right? You take up a project and you have a deadline in front of you. What is possible? Finishing the project is the only possible thing. So when you are pushed into some such circumstances, your mind gets free. You go fast and you try. So there are multiple instances where I can quote things like this. And we have invested in this from the time we were like 5 people or 6 people. So Gomati Shankar would remember, I think, we were doing a Wi-Fi sniffer when we were, Econ System was working from a small house in KK Nagar. And resources were very, very precious for us at that time. We could have billed every person we have. But we chose not to do that. And Gomati Shankar was doing Wi-Fi sniffing. And we were doing research, basically. Did it give any money, the sniffer? No. But the knowledge we gained from that actually helped Gomati actually lead a big project in wireless later on. So that was those are the things that we tried. First when I saw Android is being released, at that time source code was not released. Only the root file system was released. I think it was 2008 or 2009. Kritika was there. I still remember I forced her to put Android on the Regulus. She said, how do I do it? She said, somehow you do it. I don't know how you'll do it. And somehow she did it. Still today we don't know. Both of us don't know how we did it. But we did it. And it came Android. That was the only thing we saw. But today with Android we made a lot of money. Right? So many such things. I can go on listing for the sake of time. I'll cut it. I'll just give the names like Open Embedded, Bluetooth Stack, barcode scanning engine. We have done a Webcam Android application. We have done iPhone application. We have done cloud application. Sharath will recall the number of different experiments our team tried. ESOM gears, over-the-air upgrade. We have tried everything possible. Some of them have actually given us tangential benefits in the sense they have given us money back right away. But many of them have given us, all of them have given us confidence, have given us learning, which we have used it in the later parts, where we would have made tangible benefits out of it. And Vinod might recall the IoT experiments we did. We spent a year or two. So today, if anyone talks to about anything IoT, we know. We have seen that. And I can talk about a cloud, okay, I know. Hari and I used to see at the cloud bills, Azure bills used to be very high. We used to do a lot of experiments with the cloud. But the reason why we have this, because of this culture, because of the way that we are exploring, we are able to achieve a lot of new things. And even today, from the limited interactions I have, I am able to listen to a lot of interesting stories. I am hearing, when I am talking to the services team, one of the leads said, Pooja is working on a piezoelectric transparent sheet on top of the camera so that it can vibrate and remove the dust. எனக்கு என்னமோ ஏதோ நாட் 7 படம் மாதிரியே இருக்கு கேட்க. Sounds very astonishing to me, but they're working on something which is interesting. We might fail, we might win, but end of the day we are trying, right? So a lot of such things are coming. And another thing I heard was how they reduced heat in StudyCam. Suresh Kumar from the services team. He was breaking his head and all by himself figured out that there was one LDO that was causing this and figured out a solution for that. And there are guys who are working on how to prevent ESD events in the camera. Vivek's team, Balaji, when Vivek was saying, he said, we did something, but it failed. So we are trying again. I said, that's good. Very good. Go ahead, try. Because many of the things I listed are failures, but the learnings have earned us a lot. So we need to keep this movement going on. We need to keep this freedom present in all the teams. Only then we can learn, only then we can grow, and only then we can always believe that anything is possible. So keep this freedom alive in all those groups. Next thing I wanted to round up on this culture thing. Why culture now? Correcta once you finish college or once you're going to enter college, after you finish college, your dad will call you and say, naangalla andha kaalathula we were all like that, like this. Why this guy is going out, right? Till that day, every evening he'll come home, we can see, smell, figure out what he's doing. Now he's going to go on his own. So give him all the jnana. that I was like this, I was like that, so you be good, right? Econ is 18 years now. So we are all become old. So we are here to give you the yarn. It's not like that. See, basically what we are trying to tell you here is, I'll give you a small study which was done by Peter Skillman. This guy is a big design guy. Peter Skillman is a big design guy. So he conducted an experiment. He gave 20 spaghetti sticks and he gave 1 yard of thread, 1 yard of tape, and 1 marshmallow. He gave these 4 items. And he said, now make the tallest tower. One team should have only 4 people. And he made teams out of CEOs, doctors, lawyers, MBA grads, business graduates, and and kindergarten students. And this experiment was repeated all over the world, multiple number of times. And can you judge, can you tell who were the maximum number of winners? இந்த கொஸ்டினில் இருக்க ட்விஸ்ட்டை வச்சே புரிஞ்சிருக்கும். இல்லைன்னா உங்களை ஹையர் பண்ணது டவுட்டு இல்லையா? அதனால் இட் இஸ் பெட்டர் யூ ஆன்சர், ரைட்? இட்ஸ் அ kindergarten students. Kindergarten students won most of the times. And everybody was astonished. They built better towers than all the others. Why? Because they were free to think. They thought it was possible, right? They were always thinking it was possible. And they were learning quickly and they were able to make it. In the sense, they did not have judgmental things. In the company, yaar CEO. Whose work is to stick the spaghetti and the tape. That was not the problem. For them, it was a game. They went in, they played, and they won. And that is how Econ was built. Econ was not built like, when we started, it was not a company. It was a game. It was fun. Every project, getting a project was fun. We used to have fun. Doing it was fun. Delivering it was fun. Failing also was fun. Everything was fun because it was a game, right? And that is the attitude of a kid. But when you grow, what happens is sometimes you get bogged down. Too many things cloud you. You become so watchful. And that's why you always have to keep the kid inside you alive. And that's why we are coming here back to you with the culture part. So what we have figured is we have not done anything. So I've heard about a lot of culture stories, okay. If you want to start a startup, first thing you will write a culture document. ஏன்னா இனிமேல் அதை ஃபார்ம் பண்ணணும், right? You're going to start a startup. This is the culture I want in my company. Okay, good. It is also good. But ours is not like that. When we want to talk about culture, we just wanted to sit and think what made us successful. If you see, except this technology, all the other 3 things are kid-like enthusiasm and energy, right? The technology is the base. Technology is what we sell, right? So that is what we did. When we wanted to tell you how we won this, how did we come to this much level, when we go and do a cross-examination of our success, and these are the points that are standing out. And that is why we wanted to reiterate to all of you why this culture is important and why we need to keep this up and alive. And so obviously you'll be seeing more activities on these things and all the people. And this year we have had a lot of new people joining us. And you all should know what kind of culture we are coming from. And another reason why we want to tell this aloud is, if you understand this atmosphere, it will help you win in this atmosphere. And if you understand this atmosphere, if something is going amiss, if you're not getting the freedom, if you don't think it is possible, you can always talk out, voice out, and say, hey, this is not in our culture. Why should it be like this, right? And like Ashok said, it has to be programmed inside us. And it is already programmed in most of us. And for the newcomers, come and join us and absorb into this culture. And it is very much possible. I'll finish with a small anecdote or a thing that happened with Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson has been there for many, many, many years, right? They have written a credo, their values and culture, long back in 1940 sometime. And in the 1980s, Burke, he was the CEO in 1980s. And at that time, he felt that people are not resonating with that culture. So what he did was, he brought the credo back It was just a one page where they simply said the short form of the credo is patients are important. My first attention is to patients, nurses and doctors and the moms and dads who trust us and use our medical products. So that is my focus. That is their credo. And that is the culture they wanted to build with everyone. So he slowly felt that that was not resonating inside the company. So he took the credo and he started conducting exercises within the company, challenging them why this is wrong. Why this is wrong. If this is wrong, we will change it. Or if this is right, we all should follow it. So he kept it as an exercise and slowly everybody started doing it. And there was no tangible benefits out of that. Adinala, there's not going to be a new invention being done or nothing like that. But what happened was, in 1980s, there is a case which happened in the US. In Chicago, Tylenol is like our Crocin or Calpol here. Tylenol is one of the highest selling medicines for J&J. And Tylenol was poisoned with cyanide. And 7 people died in Chicago. And overnight, Tylenol became from a Johnson & Johnson from a drug company became a poison selling company. Overnight. And all the people who were using Tylenol stopped using it. It was used for pain and fever, basically. So it was a big disaster. And the CEO and everybody wrote them off. They said that medicine Tylenol cannot sell in the same name ever again. Okay, it was somebody has tampered with it and did it. So the FBI and the FDA both went to J&J's CEO and said, you just recall Chicago's batch because you can't recall the entire batch. And trust me, J&J did not have a recall feature till then. They didn't know how to do it. They did not have a PR agency, and all their PR was like a small notebook. They didn't have anything at that point. So Burke and what they did was Burke went ahead and recalled the entire Tylenol, all the 50,000 and spent around $50 million worth of Tylenol was brought back, and they tided over that thing. And slowly after 4 or 5 weeks, they created a pack, blister pack, which cannot be tampered with, a tamper-proof pack. They invented it and they created it and went to the market. And they did so many other things, and Tylenol was again back selling really well. So the only thing he said was, at that point in time, there were hundreds of people making thousands of decisions. And all those decisions were made because they were programmed by the culture. Any situation, any person reacts is how the culture has tuned them. Because of the culture of their patient-first methodology, they were able to make the right decision. And today that case study is a case study for how to manage disasters in big organizations, right? So that is why the culture is important for all of us. When you're in tough situations, how you get out of it, you can use these attributes, because this has been with us for 18 years and it is going to be with us for a very, very long time to come. Okay? Thank you for the opportunity. Happy New Year.
Thank you, Maha. So we are a 415-member organization today, not because of new joinees, not because of people who stayed back, but because of only one factor, the care and connect. I would define this care and connect as a culture as a fatherly connect and motherly care. This is not defined, but this is partial of Econ. 2021, as all of us know, has been a toughest year in terms of health, hygiene, and other factors. And there has been multiple set of people within the organization who got affected. Not only the organization members, the near and dear also got affected. I would be failing in duty if I don't thank the management for giving absolutely a blank check for us to make sure that you are taken care of. And with this opportunity, I would like to give a big hand for that big thought, because not even a single question asked. So apart from what is being officially said, this care and connect is a very important aspect of what we are. And I would be failing in my duty if I don't mention few members who has put in their heart and soul to make sure the culture anchors are thoroughly driven in. Of course, as I said, it starts with the management team, we were one of the first company to announce a bereavement benefit. Thank God, nothing happened and nothing will happen, but still, we had that care and connect as an aspect to say, if something happens, don't worry, we are there for your family. The second part, until today, never a budget has been told or being asked. It's a very free hand, and that confidence which was entrusted on us, and the set of people who I'm going to read, made sure that we took care of as far as possible, as long as possible, as to the extent of possible, that we could support all the family members as well as the employees who are affected with COVID. So I would like to read out those names and thank them for all the effort which they have put in the last 2021. I would like to start with Mr. Clarence from IT team, who was part of the COVID Warriors team. When I read out the names, I request all of us to give a big hand for all these members. So Mr. Clarence from IT team, Mr. Sundar, Mr. Mani, Mr. Gopal, and Ganapati. Again, when most of us were fearing for COVID, there were incidences where Gopal, Mani, Giri, they took food from the office and delivered to our employees' home without worrying about that health. Again, this came from the confidence what the team has put in, and it came from a thankless support they have extended. Thank you so much, team, for that. Of course, from finance, Mr. Ranjit, who stayed along with the members. We created a bio bubble. Some of the members in the bio bubble got affected, and Ranjit was within them, making sure every single aspect was taken care, not even a single man-day loss of disruption in activity. Again, I would take this opportunity to thank from finance Mr. Ranjit and Anand at every single point of time. Saturday, Sunday, early morning, late in the evening, you just call up and tell this is what the requirement, and in another 5 minutes things will happen as a money transfer. Of course, it's my own team, Archana Rajamanikam and Ravi. So weekends were really nightmare for us. We would be waiting what could happen, what should not happen, because almost back to back, sometimes there were 75 to 60 calls we have to handle patiently to make sure every single employee is taken care of. So this underlying factor of motherly care and fatherly connect is one of the main reasons which is going to attract not only newcomers. I'm really happy to announce or notify here, most of the people for some reason who has left us at various stages as early as 2011 onwards are in touch with me, and they have shown interest to come back, which means that we are growing as an organization, we are changing a lot. All these principles are being employed, deployed, and it's being felt. Not only a completely a new set of people, it's also those people who knew us, who has been with us, who are wanting to join us. I take this opportunity to thank one and all, and of course, by Maha's announcement, it should not end with just a talk by Maha. There is a few arrangements we have made. I would request Mr. DL to come and announce those arrangements, which we would start very shortly.
Good evening, all. How many of you know me? Few interacted with me. Thank you, JP, for the opportunity to refer to this econ, and thanks leadership team for believing me, who believed in my capabilities, and to give the opportunity to be with you in the success journey of econ. My background is very long, so to just match with what freedom to explore, that opportunity you will get only in growing company like econ. I had worked previous to this, like Aurobindo, L&T, India Cements, Mahindra & Mahindra, Danfoss, Aditya Birla Group. So I had seen that opportunity, only it was with Danfoss. That time they were doing 100 crores turnover. In terms of turnover I'm talking about. Now they are doing 2,000 crores. The culture is similar to econ, what I have seen. So I'm just telling youngsters that if you are here in econ, you will get a lot of opportunity. And not growing company, even after grown company also, you will get in econ, because only here you can benchmark your, supersede your benchmarks. That's what I can see in econ. So to come back with the action, what we have planned, Very shortly, we'll be starting employee transportation for daily commutation to office from office. That will be announced by HR shortly. Initially, it will be 2 routes. Based on the more requirements and inputs, we can enhance these services. And the second is, we are tying up with listed hospitals, almost now tied up with 7 hospitals now in Chennai, for the betterment of employees and their dependents, to have a better discount and other services. And exclusive customer relationship manager will be assigned to Econ. So, and Rohini will be in support from Econ side. That is second. And third thing, we are streamlining vendors, service providers to Econ. So you can see changes based on your input. Most of the employee, what input they are given to me, rather than saying complaints, inputs just I'm streamlining, starting from travel desk and all other service providers. So you will see a lot of changes in the coming days. And wish you and your family a very, very successful and a great year ahead. And please adhere to the measures what is adhere to this COVID or Micron, whatever government says. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
So thank you, team, and wish you all the very happy, prosperous New Year and safe New Year. As too many viruses are on the ground, it's important for us to take care of ourselves and provide a very safe working environment for our colleagues as well. Thank you so much for being online and offline, and it's going to be a fantastic year for us in terms of all aspects. Wishing Econ family all the best. Thank you so much.